Hey everybody! I have some great stories for you today, so sit back, relax, and let's get into it. My husband and I finally bought our first house, a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, a year ago. Over the holidays, we thought we'd take on the role of hosting a few get-togethers. From my perspective, it was hell. I hated every second of it. I never really hosted anything or entertained or whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's just that I'm not used to the requirements, but growing up, my mum or dad would host family, and they were nothing like this. My in-laws did things like let kids run around screaming, yelling, up and down stairs, touching things that didn't belong to them, making messes and not making them clean up after themselves. Parents didn't bring anything for the kids to do and got upset with us for not having anything for them. Brought a dog into our house, let the dog on the furniture. Left chairs sticking out of tables, counters, instead of pushing them in. Stomped around the house with their shoes on, despite being asked to remove them. Left trash, paper plates, etc., sitting around or balled up instead of placing it in the trash. Opened multiple bottles, cans of drinks, and only took a sip and left it open. Pulled out and used new rolls of toilet paper when there was still plenty left on the rolls. Opened medicine cabinets. Only one person asked if we needed help at any point, and it was my husband's brother's new girlfriend who we were all meeting for the first time. She offered to help us clean up, bring out food, etc. This was a terrible experience. My husband was shocked at his family's behaviour and didn't know what to say. I don't blame him for this at all. He was just as much a part of the hosting as me, but he was seeing his family through new eyes as well. When he talked to his mum and dad after, they just laughed at us and said, "That's what hosting is." So we decided together we would rather not go through all that again. Easter is coming up, and my in-laws asked what our plans are. My husband said that we aren't going to host after everyone's awful manners. His mum and dad are upset with us. We have the big house, so they figured it would be on us from now on. We said that the only way we would ever even consider hosting is if every member of his family pitched in some way. They said that defeats the purpose of someone else hosting, and that no one should be expected to pitch in if we offered to host. So we said we won't host. Maybe I'm just not meant to host. But are we truly so far out of bounds to refuse to host anymore because of how his family behaves? Oh, honey, let me tell you straight up, you're not out of bounds for refusing to host again. Hosting isn't about turning your home into a free-for-all zoo where respect and basic manners go out the window. It's one thing to open your home, it's another to have it disrespected. Your in-laws' behaviour? Absolutely appalling. And their reaction, even worse. It's not about the size of your house, it's about mutual respect and consideration, which they clearly lack. You and your husband standing your ground is the right move. Don't let them guilt-trip you into thinking otherwise. Hosting should bring joy, not resentment. Stick to your guns. If they can't respect your home, they don't get the privilege of enjoying it. Period. All right, guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video, or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. I, a 17-year-old male, lost my dad 10 years ago. When he got sick, he started a memory book with me so that I could hold on to the memories. He did one for my sister too, but she wasn't as into it and was more into videos he made of himself. But for me, the memory book was everything, and after he died, I continued adding to it. Any memory I had of my dad or our family, I would add. Sometimes something came back when I found a random photo or something. Then I included memories with my sister after Dad. Sometimes I included some memories of Mum, but after Dad died, my relationship with her was harder. She thought we needed another dad, and because we said we didn't want another dad, she was angry with us a lot. She tried to rush a couple of relationships, but they failed when the guy realised he was not getting an instant, happy family. 5 years ago, my mum met her husband, John, and they merged families. John was a single dad of 3 kids, Technically, he has 4 kids, but 1 is not in his life. John's 3 kids do not have an involved mum, so my mum has stepped up to be their mum, and they call her Mum. John has tried to step up to be mine and my sister's dad. But we see him as just a stepdad. John's kids are just step-siblings, and I don't love John and his kids. I don't hate or dislike them. But I wouldn't ever include them in my memory book, for example. And that's what this is about. My step-siblings were in my room when I was in school a couple of weeks ago, and they found the memory book. They wanted to know why I had it and why I didn't have photos of their dad or them. My mum heard them ask those questions, and she demanded to look through it. While Mum was going through it, my step-siblings said they wanted to add their own stuff, and I said, no, it's not for them. Mum told me not to say that kind of thing to them, and then she told me it should be something that shares the memory of our whole family. I told her it was my personal thing. She took it away for a few days, and my sister stole it back, and then I asked my grandpa to hold on to it for me. Mum and John sat me down and said it's not acceptable that I have a memory book that's clearly about my family when I don't include my whole existing family. They said my step-siblings were very upset that I wouldn't add them or let them take part. They then said it should be a family thing, and Mum insisted I hand it back over and we all work on it together. I told them it's not a family project, it's mine. It's for me and my way of documenting memories of the people I love, and they will not take it away from me. John was angry and said, oh, so it's like that, so you don't love us. Mum told me she and John had the right to say what was or wasn't a family project, and once it's in their home, that's their decision. She also told me I was disrespectful for talking back. They also told me it was time to man up. Am I the jerk? Oh, honey, let's get one thing straight. Your memory book is yours. It's a personal and intimate way for you to connect with your late father and preserve the memories you hold dear. It's not a community journal for everyone to doodle in. Your mom and John are out of line here. It's concerning that they can't see the importance of this book to you and are trying to force a narrative of one big happy family by infringing on your personal space and memories. It's not about not loving them, it's about honouring your dad and your journey. They need to respect that, and telling you to man up, that's just low. You're navigating your grief and maintaining a connection to your dad in a way that feels right to you. Stand your ground. This book is yours and yours alone. All right, guys? That's it for this one. But if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video. Or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. My ex-husband and I divorced when my son was 10 because my ex had found someone new. We agreed on 50/50 custody, but he still had to pay some child support. During the time I went back to school, I dedicated myself entirely to schoolwork on the weeks his dad had him. When he was with me, I ensured I had time for him both before and after school. I did expect him to help around the house, but nothing excessive. This mostly involved cleaning up after himself and helping with cooking and laundry. Despite my efforts to make my home welcoming, including buying a used PS4 and getting fibre optic internet, it wasn't enough for him. His dad's house was more fun. When he was 14, he and his father convinced the court to award my ex primary custody. I fought against it, but my son made it clear he would run away if I didn't relent. Counselling didn't help, despite my efforts. Losing my son in this way was devastating. He began skipping visitation, and when he did come, he would leave the house and not return until it was time to sleep. During this period, I started a relationship with my current husband, who supported me through these challenges. We had been friends since I returned to university, and 6 months after we started dating, we got married. 6 months into our marriage, I became pregnant. By a strange coincidence, the woman my ex was involved with also became pregnant. This woman was not the one he had left me for, but someone new. After selling my house, my husband and I bought a condo together, a 2-bedroom apartment with a tiny den, which we turned into a nursery. We combined our offices into the 2nd bedroom. My ex moved in with his new girlfriend, who does not like my son. Consequently, my son ended up living in a crowded house with his dad's pregnant girlfriend, and her mother. Now 16, my son called me, asking if he could stay with me. I explained that we didn't have the space, which upset him greatly. He was unaware that I had sold the house. After he called me names for not having a place for him, I offered the living room couch as a temporary solution, which he found unacceptable. Discussing the situation with my husband, we considered using the money from the sale of my house and his old bachelor pad, along with our current condo, to re-enter the housing market. We had been waiting for a more favourable time, considering a move to a more affordable city. I told my son that if he could manage with the living room for now, we could have a proper room for him in 6 months. He chose to move in with his grandparents instead, dissatisfied with the arrangement. Fortunately, his dad provided him with a car, allowing him to continue attending the same school. My son expressed his frustration, feeling that I had prioritised my new baby and my work over him. I had not anticipated the need to provide housing for him again. My ex suggested converting our office into a room for our son, but I reminded him that the current situation was the result of his actions, not mine. Look, I get it. Life threw you some curveballs and you did what you thought was best at the time, but let's be real here. Your son, at a crucial age, felt pushed aside. Not intentionally maybe, but the result is the same. Selling the house, moving on, it all signals to him that he's an afterthought. And now, when he's in a tough spot, the best you can offer is a couch? That's rough. It's not about the physical space, it's about making him feel like he has a place in your life. Yes, his dad and the situation there sounds like a mess, but pointing fingers doesn't solve the problem. It's not about whose fault it is. It's about stepping up now for your son. He's clearly reaching out for some stability and a sense of belonging. Don't let this be the moment he looks back on as the time his mum didn't make room for him in her life, literally and figuratively. Alright guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video. Or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. I, a 28-year-old male, work with a woman named Lydia, who is 24 years old and has a very annoying habit. She has a dating profile that she uses specifically to lure men into buying her expensive dinners at restaurants. She wants to try and then ghosts them. Lydia brags about this all the time and is never interested in actually dating, but she'll act like it to sell it. I can't stand this because it's playing with people's hearts, but Lydia thinks of it as a life hack to try food or drinks she otherwise couldn't afford. My friend Daniel, a 32-year-old male, is also on dating sites, but for the right reasons. His late wife died a few years ago, and he's just started jumping back into the dating scene. Daniel is a very sweet guy, and I really want him to find a great lady for him. A few days ago he texted me asking if I knew Lydia. They matched and got to talking about work, which is how he found out we worked at the same place. I told him all about Lydia's behaviour with the restaurant thing and made it very clear to him he would do best to drop things with her early on. Daniel said he'd probably still do the date, but ask for separate checks. Well, they went out this past weekend, and on Monday, Lydia came into work very upset. I asked her how her date with Daniel went, and she ripped into me asking if I was the one who told him not to pay for her dinner. Apparently she had Daniel take her to a high-end steakhouse, and she ended up splurging. She got a drink, a full entree with a side, and dessert where Daniel just ordered a sandwich and salad. Her bill alone came to $70 something, and she was almost in tears at work as she didn't expect to pay for it, and now her car was low on gas. I got a little upset too as she tried to use my friend as a literal meal ticket, but somehow she doesn't see it that way. Daniel told me later the date was going kind of well until he asked for separate checks, and then Lydia just got weirdly cold. So now Lydia's mad at me because I told someone about her little tactic, and it backfired on her. I don't feel like I did anything wrong since it was a grieving friend I was protecting. But some other people we work with said I should have stayed out of it because it was none of my business. Oh, please! Lydia's upset because her little game didn't work out? Tough luck. You did Daniel a solid by giving him the heads up. It's not about not minding your own business. It's about looking out for a friend who's had a rough time and doesn't deserve to be someone's free meal plan. Lydia's behaviour is manipulative and frankly pretty disgusting. Bragging about using people for expensive dinners? That's low. And then to have the audacity to be upset when someone doesn't fall for her trick. Unbelievable. You did nothing wrong. If anything, Lydia should take this as a wake-up call to start treating people with a bit more respect and maybe, just maybe, pay for her own meals. Alright guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video. Or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. I, female 35, have a daughter, Kelly, female 16, with my ex-husband, Josh, 37M. We separated when Kelly was 10. Since then, Josh got married again to Lily, 30s F. Kelly mostly stays with me but also has her own room at Josh's house, which is significantly bigger than mine. It is important to note Kelly is not really a picky eater and usually cooks for herself as she enjoys cooking and trying new things. However, she is very particular about how she wants her hot drinks done, like hot chocolate with milk only and no water, or tea without any milk or sugar, as she collects different types and feels. Adding milk or sugar ruins it. Unfortunately, Kelly had to go through an operation and currently can't move by herself and needs help. Josh suggested having her stay at his house as he has more room and Lily can look after Kelly while he is at work since she is a housewife. They don't have any children together. Lily also agreed it would be for the best. Both Kelly and I went with the plan as I won't be able to be with her 24/7 due to my work and a lack of cover, and I won't be able to afford being off work for long as I have to pay for her operation along with other medical bills. It was a week on Friday since Kelly was staying with Josh and Lily, and I would spend time with her in the evenings when Kelly called me and asked me to take her home. I asked what was wrong, and she told me Lily kept messing with her drinks or serving her drinks she can't have, like coffee due to her meds, and when my daughter tried to raise it with her, Lily said if Kelly doesn't like it, she can make her own, knowing perfectly well my daughter is currently bedbound. I took her home and told my ex I am expecting him to cover the medical bills and some of my expenses since Lily failed to do her job and her treatment of Kelly. I refused to give her a second chance despite Josh asking me to, and was called a jerk by him and my in-laws. Oh, where do we even start with this mess? First off, Lily's behaviour is downright nasty. We're talking about basic care and respect here, and she failed at both. Your daughter is recovering, bedbound, and this is when she needs support the most. It's not about being picky, it's about being cared for properly. And for Lily to suggest Kelly make her own drinks, that's not just insensitive, it's cruel. Now, on to you demanding Josh cover the medical bills and some expenses. Well, it's a bold move, but honestly, given the circumstances, it's not entirely out of line. You were left with no choice but to take your daughter out of a harmful situation. Josh and his family calling you names? They're deflecting from the real issue, Lily's unacceptable behaviour. Stick to your guns. This isn't about second chances, it's about your daughter's well-being. Alright guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video. Or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. One of my friends, who is nearly 30, put together a get-together at a restaurant for my birthday. The place has a bar where we're going to be hanging out. The plan was to get a bit tipsy and order appetizers. My husband and I have a 3-year-old, but we're hiring a babysitter for the night. We rented out a private room with a bar. My other friend, Missy, has a 5-year-old daughter. She mentioned she was going to bring her. I offered to pay my babysitter extra to watch her daughter. Missy said no because her daughter is in daycare all day, and she doesn't want her to have to then be with a sitter. I said I understand, but I don't think it's appropriate for her to come. 1, I know our group. We're going to get rowdy, and I don't want to censor myself. 2, Missy's daughter is like a lot of 5-year-olds. She doesn't sit still, wants to run over the place. Missy admits she doesn't bring her out to restaurants much because she doesn't know how to act. But I also know Missy will just sort of let her, as she's very permissive. I spoke to my friend who put it together and said, I don't want any kids there. There's a reason I got a sitter for my own kid. That friend agreed and told Missy not to bring her daughter. Missy has now thrown a fit and said she's not coming. I said I completely understand. There are events I have missed because I don't want to leave my daughter, and the group understands as we all have kids. I told Missy I'd be glad to have a play date and lunch another time with our kids so we can still hang out. I told Missy I can't stop her from coming to the restaurant, but we absolutely will not allow her to come into the private room. She's very hurt that we're excluding her. Am I the jerk for not wanting a kid at my party and telling my friend she can't come if she brings her? Also, if it's relevant, Missy didn't pay for the rented room. 2 of my other friends did as a gift to me. So it's not as if I'm telling her she can't come to something she paid for. Look, you're planning an adult evening. It's not a family-friendly picnic in the park. You've been considerate, offering solutions, and even suggested an alternative get-together with the kids. Missy's reaction, throwing a fit because she can't bring her child to an event that's clearly not suitable for kids. It's not about excluding her. It's about ensuring the event stays true to its nature. You're not the bad guy for wanting one night without children, especially when you've gone out of your way to accommodate everyone's needs. Missy needs to understand that not every event will cater to her specific situation, and that's okay. You've handled this with grace and understanding. She's the one choosing to miss out, not you pushing her away. All right, guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video, or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. I, a 21-year-old female, hosted a birthday dinner for my best friend, Anna, who is 22 years old, the other day. I invited all her close friends, made the cake, prepared a ton of food I knew everyone could enjoy, and decorated the place with all her favourite things. I was exhausted, and honestly, all that cooking kind of ended the life of my appetite. So when everyone was eating, I only had a couple of things before putting my plate away. One of the friends, let's call her Sarah, noticed and asked what was wrong. I told her, I just don't have that much of an appetite, but please don't stop on my account. I made all this food, so enjoy to your heart's content. She didn't say anything, just nodded and walked off. Then we moved on to games and everyone had a blast. Until it was time to cut the cake. The cake was delicious and people were gobbling it up. I only took a few bites of cake before putting it away, and Sarah once again walked up to me. She talked about how good the cake was and how everyone was downing it. I laughed and told her I was super happy everyone was enjoying it and I wish I could down my piece like everyone else, but I just finished a whole bottle of Mexican Coke earlier, so a few bites were all I could stomach right now. She went off on me. She started yelling at me about how I shouldn't have called her fat. I don't think I did, though. And that I should be ashamed of making people feel guilty about eating. Anna came over trying to calm Sarah down because now everyone was staring and wondering what was happening. I tried to reach out to Sarah in an attempt to diffuse, the situation I inadvertently started, but she stomped off. Anna looked at me confused, and I just shrugged, before telling everyone to continue as they were. The party eventually kicked back off. I tried to text Sarah to come back and apologized, but she just left me on read. Now, a few days later, Anna's friends refused to talk to me. Sarah has spread the word that I'm fatphobic and everyone is eating it up. I know I'm not as close to them as Anna is, but it still hurts that they seem to believe Sarah so easily without attempting to understand the whole situation. My best friend tried to explain to them it was a simple miscommunication, but no one seems to be listening. The only thing that'll apparently help the situation is a full-blown apology from me in person to Sarah, Sarah's words to my friend. But I really don't think I did anything wrong. So, Reddit, please weigh in. I'm so confused. To add, oh gosh, I didn't expect this to blow up the way it did. The way my phone kept going off in class. But now for an update for any that are curious. I texted Anna throughout all of this, and apparently Sarah has been going around and telling the friend group a completely different story than what happened. That's why they've been icing me out. From what Anna can gather, she's been saying I was the one who went up to her and made comments about how much she's eaten, which never happened. I'm over this petty drama, so I just texted everyone in a group chat and let them know they can believe what they want. For what it's worth, Anna is 100% on my side, since she knows I'm not the type to police who eats what. I'm graduating soon with my university degree, so I have better things to worry about. If they respond, I'll let you all know what they say. Oh, honey, let's get one thing straight. You did nothing wrong in terms of hosting or how you handled your appetite. You went above and beyond for your friend, and that's commendable. Now, on to Sarah. Her reaction was out of line and, frankly, a bit absurd. It sounds like she's projecting insecurities onto you, which isn't fair. However, this situation has escalated because of misunderstandings and, let's face it, some high school level drama. While you don't owe Sarah an apology for something you didn't do, sometimes being the bigger person means smoothing things over for the sake of peace, especially if this is affecting your social circle. But remember, this doesn't mean you're admitting fault. It's about clearing the air. And for the rest of them, if they're willing to drop you without hearing your side, you might want to reconsider those friendships. Focus on your graduation and the people who truly matter. All right, guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video, or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Every other week, my fiancé, 22 years old, and I, 23 years old, go out to eat with her family, and last week we went to a Korean BBQ restaurant owned by my uncle, 59 years old, where I paid for everyone's meal. I only asked them to cover the tip for the waitress, which they agreed to do. The total bill was over $240, and I paid. Usually, when I cover the tab for my friends or significant other, they generously tip since they're only responsible for the gratuity, not the cost of the meal itself. However, a few days ago, my cousins, 21 years old, revealed that they had only left a $1 tip, and they have only tipped $1 before. I was shocked and disappointed, because a $1 tip is insultingly low, especially considering I had treated them to alcohol and dessert. So I discussed this issue with my fiancé, but her family insists they never tip or only pay $1 for a tip at restaurants/general services. This is happening in the USA. As a result, I informed my fiancé our bi-weekly restaurant outings would have to change. I told her that I had only paid for their meals as a kind gesture. While my fiancé was annoyed, she ultimately understood. Yesterday, they asked if I would buy their food again next week, to which I responded that they'll need to cover their own expenses for their meal. I didn't want to confront them about their habit of tipping only $1, so I decided to handle it differently this time and simply pretend to cover the tip for them. Her family did not take that so well. They accused me of being ungrateful, arguing that they were the ones taking time to meet up with me bi-weekly and that asking them to tip was unreasonable in the beginning. They also suggested that since my family is wealthy, it's only fair that I continue paying for their meals. My fiancée was surprisingly on my side. She knew her family had this issue. She just didn't have the courage to inform them about it. Am I the jerk for deciding not to buy food for my fiancé's family anymore? Now for an update. I didn't break up with her, but her family is furious. I sent the top upvoted reply. They refuse to talk to me. They've called my fiancé multiple times saying things like, "Is this how Koreans do their business?" and suggesting she should break up with that, along with other offensive and more discriminatory remarks. Look, let's cut to the chase. You're not running a charity here, and it's high time someone told her family that. Paying for their meals was a generous gesture, not an obligation. And their attitude towards tipping, absolutely appalling, especially in a country where tipping is a significant part of someone's income. It's not about being wealthy. It's about basic respect and decency. The fact that they tried to guilt-trip you by playing the ungrateful card is just wow. And dragging race into this? Unacceptable. You did the right thing by standing your ground. It's not just about the money, it's about principles. Your fiancé backing you up is a good sign, but her family needs a serious reality check. Don't forget to let me know if you think I missed anything in the comment section below. All right, now for the next post.